Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And the BC Lions got a signing here as Casey Sayles signs with the Lions. My laptop's not plugged in. After being released for the Ticats. So he signs a 2-year deal in BC, which for a while it looked like BC was going to be pretty heavy on defensive linemen just in terms of the amount of guys they had. Jonah Devine, as we had a video out already on it, had re-signed there. And then they already had Betts on the ends, and they had some other guys. But Hendricks was released, so I have to imagine that Sayles and Devine are kind of the two guys they're looking at the D-tackle spot. He played for Winnipeg for a few years. I was a big fan of him here. And then he moved on to Hamilton and has been there ever since. Rick, what was your thoughts on Casey Sayles?
Like in Hamilton-wise? Or just
yeah. What did you think of him from his time there? Because I was a fan of him when he was in Winnipeg. I really enjoyed him.
I thought he did really well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in order for defensive tackles to be effective, you have to have two good talents on the defensive line for D tackles. And it just came to the point where it's like, as Hamilton, we had like one of the worst rush defenses last season, and it's just like sometimes, and this has nothing to do with Casey Sayles, I'm just saying this in general, sometimes, some players need that change of scenery.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily saying that a guy is bad or anything like that. It just means that sometimes if you're looking for a certain production from a guy, they just, again, that change of scenery can make a difference. Like even if I'm just thinking like hockey, and just to be clear, this is not saying we're not saying that Casey Sayles is responsible for that. I want to make sure that's clear. But even if I just think of like hockey, there have been numerous guys over the years on teams where it just wasn't working, and then they got traded away, and then all of a sudden they're popping off. Like actually, the prime recipient of those problems in the NHL is Buffalo. If you look at all the guys that the Buffalo Sabres have drafted in the last 15 years, a lot of them you're like, man, this should be like a Stanley Cup winning team. Nope. You want to know why? Because when they were in Buffalo, they kind of struggled. They get traded away, and look at them go. And now they're winning cups, and they're doing everything that they couldn't do when they're in Buffalo. So, again, it's not speaking any ill of the players. That just was an issue in Hamilton that they needed resolved. And so, and the other thing is that with Hamilton finished first in the East last year. They did very well. And with that, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to take up, like salary cap is a thing. You know what I mean? And so there just isn't enough money for everyone, and especially if Hamilton's going to want to be able to do anything in free agency, they do need to have some capital available. Lions decided Casey Sayles was the guy to bring in.
So to answer your question on that, from the research that I've done, if you look at it, I believe Casey Sayles was at about 167 to 170. Then if you look at the other players, Miles Fox was only 90,000 last year. I'm sure Julian Hauser, with the season that he had last year with 43 tackles, 13 sacks, he got a bit of a pay raise.
Yeah.
But again, I'm sure Saskatchewan's going to go through it because they've won Grey Cups. They're going to have to look at Toronto this past few years when Toronto had to lose all those players because they pick and choose who they want. Even if you guys have gone through it.
Yeah. The only thing that's different about Winnipeg is that Winnipeg lost all those guys to one fucking team. That's right. Those Hamilton Tie Bombers.
Not only that, but with the salary cap going up, people want their money.
Of course. It makes sense. The salary cap goes up. It's because
every player.
Guys are making more money, which is generally good for those players. So good on him. But yeah, Sayles signs a 2-year deal with the Ticats because this type of info is not. They have not yet made player salaries public. I think they probably will get to that point.
Slowly, surely, but they're getting there.
Because of that, we don't really know exactly on how much he got signed for, but potentially in the future we may know that. Honestly, that'll be really helpful for videos when we're eventually doing them. Well, just because that sort of stuff can be really helpful in terms of, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Now, one thing I will say, though, before the CFL can do that, you know what the CFL needs to do, Rick? They need to fix their goddamn website. I've put out...
You don't say.
We have put out a couple tweets about how players have been born on January 1st of 2026, which I think the Argos had one listed as someone who was born January 1st of this year. I'm sorry. I don't think the Argos should be starting them that young. And even numerous other instances where like just little things were wrong. Samuel Emelis, like at the start of last year, it said he was like 125 years old, something like that. So the CFL's got to get their shit together. Prime example of that, if you search up, at least I don't know how it is now, but at the time of recording this video, if you search up Casey Sayles CFL, you get this. As you can see, Vincent Hamill, wide receiver. No offense to Vincent. However, firstly,
Who is Vincent Hamill?
I don't know who it is. It says he weighs nothing, though, apparently, which I got to say, for a wide receiver, that might be very valuable. You can just fly over the defense. But if you look at the top there, you'll notice that the URL is cfl.ca/players/Casey-Sayles. CFL, fix your goddamn website. Just needed to show that just in case they do fix that. I need you all to know that there was a point in which it was screwed up. So they gotta get their stuff together in that regard. But at the end of the day, I think that this is not a bad move for the Lions, as I think again that he's got a lot of raw talent. Hamilton had some problems at the D-line position, this or that, and so they're going to be looking for change of scenery. Makes sense. But BC had done very, very well in that regard, and so obviously BC knows exactly what they're looking for. And I think they'll be able to figure that out, because if you look at them, they led the league with 45 sacks. So obviously they know something about that D line.
I will say the only correct thing that they have on there is where he was born.
Well, isn't that a fucking relief, huh?
School's wrong, status is wrong, height, weight, and birthday's wrong. Maybe the picture's right. Hey, if he's a wide receiver, we might as well keep. We should have kept him on our team. He's never played the league before.
You're pulling, like you're fine. You're trying to find the silver lining when the fact of the matter is they screwed up. But thank you guys so much.
I'm just trying to pull out their stupidity.
Fair enough.
Apparently, they said that they wanted to improve the website this year. Well, they're doing a shitty job at it.
Fix your well, they didn't talk about that or the app when they did their presser, which that's a whole other issue. I was hoping to hear about that. Commissioner said fuck of all about that. I hope they get something going with that, because I want a CFL app. I want this website working. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord. We'll discuss all things CFL related, NHL stuff, all sorts of stuff like that. So make sure you guys go there and keep it chatting. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.